Hey there, Soul and Love Stories fam. First off, an apology from your storyteller. Last week I was down with some pesky back trouble, so I couldn't get videos up as regularly for you amazing fans. I'm so sorry for keeping you waiting. But today, I'm back, feeling strong, and honestly, I've missed you all like crazy. To make up for it, I've got a wild ride ready. A Texas oil millionaire ditches a suffocating arranged marriage and crashes right into the arms of an Oregon waitress. We're talking big money, juicy secrets, and laughs that'll knock you off your bed. Tyler and Lila's story is loaded with sassy banter, beachside romance, and a twist that'll flip your boots upside down. Hit that like button to give me a boost. Smash subscribe to help us hit 1,000 subs. I need you to keep these love stories blazing. Share this with your crew and drop a comment below. Are you watching from sizzling Dallas or somewhere cozier? Let's dive into this Lone Star escape right now. Tyler Reed, 28, bolted out of a $1 million Dallas mansion, leaving a $2,000 steak untouched on the table and his oil tycoon parents glaring daggers at him. What's the deal? Just minutes ago inside the swanky dining room of their Highland Park estate, James Reed, his towering salt and pepper-haired father with a voice like thunder, slammed a marriage contract onto the table. The bride-to-be? Vanessa Holt, 42, daughter of Houston's biggest oil dynasty. A woman Tyler wouldn't recognize if she walked past him at a gas station. "Marry her, or the company's toast," James roared, pounding the table so hard the silverware rattled like it was auditioning for a dance-off. "Marry her?" Tyler fired back, sarcasm dripping. "I can't even tie my boots without a YouTube tutorial. How am I supposed to tie the knot?" His mother, Margaret, draped in an elegant silk dress, flashed one of those smiles that screamed trouble. "Vanessa's mature, smart. You'll grow to like her," she said, smooth as butter. Tyler let out a laugh, half panicked, half hysterical. "Like her? I don't even know if she's into rodeos or facials, Mom. She's 14 years older. Am I signing up to be her husband or her adopted son?" James didn't flinch, his eyes cold as steel. "Enough joking around. Hooking up with the Holtz is our only way out. There's $500 million in oil rigs riding on your I do. You want this family to crash and burn?" Tyler blinked, trying to wrap his head around it. "So I'm just a racehorse in your oil derby, huh?" he shot back, his voice starting to shake. Margaret laid a hand on his shoulder, gentle but firm. "Tyler, this is for the family. Privilege comes with sacrifice." He shrugged her off, stepping back. "Sacrifice? You're asking me to pawn my whole life just to pump a few more wells? I'm not an ATM with a marry button." James shot up, face red as a Texas sunset. "No wedding with Vanessa, and you lose everything. Money, house, the Reed name, all of it. Don't expect me to bail you out when you're begging on the street." That "lose everything" hit Tyler like a sucker punch. He stared at his parents, eyes stinging, but holding it together. "So that's it? Toe the line or get tossed out like trash? Got it." He didn't wait for another word. Tyler snatched his keys off the hall table and stormed out. "Tyler!" Margaret called after him, her voice cracking, but he threw up a hand. "Save it, Mom. I'm done." He jumped into his dusty Ford Mustang, slammed the gas, and the engine roared to life, shattering the quiet Dallas night. The empty streets blurred past his windows as James's words echoed, "You'll lose everything." Tyler loved his family, but he loved his freedom more. He couldn't live as a puppet in their oil empire. Destination, Seaside, Oregon, a little coastal town he'd visited as a kid with his granddad, where the salty breeze once made him forget Texas's dry heat. Now he needed that breeze to blow away the massive shadow of the Reed legacy. The next morning, after driving all night like a man possessed, Tyler pulled up to Coastal Brew Cafe in Seaside. The smell of fresh coffee mingled with ocean air hit him like a lifeline, easing his frazzled mind. Lila Harper, a 26-year-old waitress with her hair tied high and a smile brighter than Oregon sunshine, strutted over. "Welcome to Oregon. Coffee's hot, but I don't take tips from millionaires," she chirped. Tyler, bleary-eyed and road-weary, couldn't help but grin at her vibe. "Hot, huh? If it sucks, I'm suing you for false advertising." Lila laughed, loud and clear. "Sue me all you want, But you won't win. My smile melts juries. He ordered a black coffee, slumping into a window seat, watching her bustle behind the counter. She wiped tables and whistled some country tune, like the weight of the world didn't exist. For the first time in days, Tyler cracked a real laugh. But that Dallas shadow, his parents, Vanessa, $500 million in oil, still lurked in his head. Sipping his coffee, he wondered, could I really trade oil rigs for coffee mugs? Or is this just a pit stop before the storm drags me back? Lila caught him staring and teased, what's with the spaced-out look, Texas boy? Careful, I'll charge you extra for the view. Tyler smirked. The view's worth it, but if the coffee's trash, I'm demanding a refund. She shrugged, tossing back. Refund? Keep dreaming. In here, you get coffee and truth, nothing else. He watched her, feeling lighter, but the question hung heavy. Would Tyler stay in Oregon, or would Dallas reel him in? Things are about to get crazier than you think. Stick around. After that first morning at Coastal Brew Cafe, Tyler Reed quickly became a regular in the tiny seaside town of Seaside, Oregon. Every day he'd roll up in his dusty Mustang, park right out front, and claim his spot by the window with a black coffee in hand. The faint scent of waffles drifting through the air and the distant crash of ocean waves worked like a temporary balm, soothing the chaos still spinning in his head from the Dallas storm. Lila Harper, with her sunbeam smile and flour-dusted apron, greeted him with a jab every time. Coffee's better than yesterday, or are you still suing me? Tyler, chin propped on his hand, shot back. If it's actually good, I'll drop the lawsuit, but I'm demanding a free refill as damages. Lila shrugged, firing right back. Keep dreaming, Texas boy. One cup's enough to snap you out of your rich kid drama. Bit by bit, their teasing chipped away at the walls between them. One slow day with the cafe nearly empty, Tyler watched Lila wipe down the counter and asked, how long you been working here? You look like you brew coffee and run this whole town. Lila chuckled softly, pausing for a second. A few years now. I used to dream of being a writer, churning out thick novels people would line up for. Now I'm stirring coffee instead of stories. Life, huh? Tyler nodded, curiosity piqued. A writer? That's cool. What stopped you? Lila sighed, her eyes flickering with a hint of sadness. My parents died in a crash, left me with my little brother, Ben. Had to raise him. Dreams got shelved. Tyler went quiet, a pang of empathy hitting him. He blurted out, I get it. My family wants me to marry a stranger, work a job I hate. Feels like my life belongs to someone else. Lila met his gaze, her eyes softening. So we both know what it's like to hit pause on our dreams, huh? Tyler smirked. Yeah, but you're tougher than me. I just ran. You stayed and fought. Lila shrugged again. Fight or not, you gotta live. Coffee doesn't brew itself. Then she tossed him a challenge. Come on, pour a cup. I bet you'll spill it all over. Tyler grinned, grabbing the pot, his hand trembling slightly as it brushed hers. They burst out laughing as a few drops splashed onto the table, and for the first time, Tyler felt an anchor, named Lila, keeping him from drifting in the storm inside. But both of them kept corners of their lives locked up tighter than a safe. Tyler never let slip that he was Tyler Reed, heir to the Reed oil empire, running from a forced marriage to Vanessa Holt. He played it vague. Needed a break from the big city. Family's a little complicated. Lila didn't pry, but whenever he swiped his shiny credit card, she'd tease. Secret CEO? Keep drinking like this, you'll buy the whole cafe. Tyler played dumb. CEO? I can't even fold a shirt. Don't set your hopes that high. One rainy afternoon, Tyler was flipping through a local paper in the cafe when Lila's phone buzzed with an unknown number. She slipped into a corner, her voice taut as a wire. No, I don't want that dirty money. My dad ruined lives. Don't force it on me. Tyler's ears perked up, but he buried his nose deeper in the paper. She came back, pale as a ghost, hands shaking so bad she dropped a tray, clattering like an alarm bell across the room. He jumped in. You okay? You look like you just saw a ghost. Lila forced a smile. Yeah, just old stuff. No big deal. That night, Lila tossed and turned in the small house she shared with Ben, Her 16-year-old brother. Sharp as a tack but suspicious as hell. Her phone rang again. It was her dad's lawyer, Victor Kane, a Texas oil baron who'd tanked after a fraud scandal. Lila, last chance. Your dad's estate is worth millions. Take it, and Ben's college is set. She slammed her fist on the table, tears streaming. That money's built on other people's bones. I'd rather burn it. She hung up, heart a tangled mess. But the thought of Ben's future gnawed at her resolve. Next morning, Tyler strolled into the cafe. Ben, wiping tables, spotted a Reed Oil business card that slipped from Tyler's wallet. He stared Tyler down and went straight for it. You're that guy from Dallas? Dodging taxes or some mom scarier than the IRS? Tyler laughed. My mom. She's worse than the IRS and FBI combined. Ben snorted, glaring. Bull, my sister doesn't need some washed-up rich dude. Lila cut in, snapping. Ben, finish the tables. Quit playing detective. But she turned to Tyler, eyes narrowing. He's not wrong. You hiding something? Tyler hesitated, forcing a grin. Maybe, not ready to spill it all. What about you? That call yesterday. Lila shook her head. Old news, not worth mentioning. Silence settled, warm yet heavy. Tyler buried the Vanessa saga and the Reed dynasty. Lila hid the Kane name like an unhealed scar. They laughed, brewed coffee, but secrets stood like an invisible wall. Then Lila glanced at her phone. A news alert popped up. Texas heir missing, $1 million reward. She looked up at Tyler, mid-sip, her voice ice cold. Who are you really, coffee guy? Tyler choked, the mug nearly slipping. Things are about to blow up. Don't miss it. The weeks in Seaside slipped by like a fleeting dream. But Tyler Reed knew the shadow of Dallas wasn't something a sea breeze could just blow away. One evening, as the sun sank into the Pacific in a blaze of red, he dragged Lila Harper out to the beach near Coastal Brew Cafe. The sand was cool underfoot, waves crashing softly, and Tyler took a deep breath before turning to her. Lila, I've got to come clean. I haven't told you everything. Lila stopped, clutching her flip-flops, her eyes a mix of curiosity and worry. Clean about what? Don't tell me you're a CIA spy. I'm terrible at keeping secrets. Tyler smirked, but his voice turned serious. Not that cool. I'm Tyler Reed, son of the Reed family from Dallas. Oil, billions, drama up to my neck. My parents are forcing me to marry Vanessa Holt, 42, daughter of a Houston oil empire, to save the company. I bolted here because I couldn't take it. Lila blinked, so shocked she nearly dropped her flops into the sand. What? You're the Reed millionaire, ditching an arranged marriage to drink my coffee? Tyler shrugged, tossing out a grin. Yup, your coffee beats oil contracts any day. Lila went quiet for a moment, then sighed, staring out at the horizon. Guess it's my turn. I'm Lila Kane, daughter of Victor Kane, Texas oil kingpin who scammed hundreds before going bust and landing in jail. I ditched that name. Just wanted a quiet life with Ben. Tyler's jaw dropped. Kane? My dad did deals with him. You're an oil princess slinging this awful coffee? Lila shot him a glare. Hey, my coffee's top-notch. And you're a castle-fleeing prince. Run out of gas yet? They both cracked up, but the air thickened with tension. A sudden drizzle started, and Tyler grabbed her hand. I don't want to go back there. Lila yanked free, her voice trembling. And I don't want to be a Kane anymore. They turned away, stomping off in opposite directions. But minutes later, a downpour hit, forcing them to scramble under the cafe's awning. Soaked to the bone, standing close, they locked eyes and laughed bitterly. Their pasts tangled in a crazy knot. The truth crashed in like a tidal wave, shaking everything. Next morning, Lila's phone rang. Her dad's lawyer. Final ultimatum, Lila. Reject Victor Kane's estate, and Ben loses his shot at college. The board meets next week in Portland. She hung up, hands shaking, staring at Ben wiping tables in the cafe. If I take it, am I just like Dad? She wondered. Tyler walked in, clocking her expression. Family trouble again? You look like you just lost a Super Bowl bet. Lila spilled it all, voice cracking. That money could give Ben a future. But if I take it, will you see me as Victor 2.0? Tyler shook his head. You kidding? You're Lila, not some shady old crook. Use it for good. Right then, the cafe door flew open. James Reed stormed in, black suit gleaming, towing Vanessa Holt, a Botoxed diva with a sparkling pearl necklace. Tyler, James bellowed, you don't come home this week to marry Vanessa. You're cut off. Company, house, bank accounts, gone. Vanessa smirked, waving a contract. Sign this or kiss that Mustang out there goodbye. Tyler stood firm. Dad, I'd rather sling tacos on the street than live your script. Lila jumped in, barking at Vanessa. He's not your oil puppet. Get lost, lady. Vanessa slipped on the wet floor, crashing down, pearls scattering everywhere as she shrieked. You hick! Tyler and Lila doubled over laughing, but James snarled. Laugh now. See how long you last. He spun on his heel, Vanessa glaring as she scrambled after him. Tyler turned to Lila, grinning wryly. Guess I'm officially exiled from the oil kingdom. Got a bussing gig for me? Lila teased. Only if you can brew coffee worth a damn. But deep down, they both felt it, their past clawing at them with sharp talons. The day of the Portland board meeting, Lila threw on an old jacket and drove off with a weird resolve. Tyler saw her off, joking, Don't let those suits scare you. Your smile could knock out Wall Street. Lila nodded, squeezing his hand for a second. Thanks, don't let your dad win either. In the meeting room, the cane board, middle-aged guys in pricey vests, eyed her like an outsider. The lawyer laid it out. Millions on the table, but you've got to own the Kane name publicly. Lila took a deep breath, channeling Tyler's words. I'll take it, but half goes to a fund for Texas orphans. No PR, no fame, just doing right. The board blinked, surprised, but agreed. Lila walked out, lighter but dreading the Kane's daughter label. Back in Seaside, Tyler called James. Dad, I'm not coming back. I'm picking freedom, even if it's just me in ripped jeans. Thanks for the read name, but I'm writing my own story now. James scoffed. Freedom? Let's see how long you survive. Tyler hung up, feeling like he dropped a lead weight into the ocean. Then he found an old letter from Lila's mom in a pocket she'd left behind. Live your story, not someone else's. He raced to the cafe, catching Lila just back, eyes red. He handed her the letter, wiping her tears. You did it, so did I. At Coastal Brew, Lila said, I took the money for Ben and the kids, but I'm scared they'll call me Kane. Tyler hugged her, quipping, Let 'em. I'll brew coffee so bad they'll run off. Lila laughed, finally at ease after days. But outside, a stranger snapped a photo of them. What's brewing next? Don't miss it. After their big decisions, Tyler Reed and Lila Harper started rebuilding their lives in Seaside, Oregon. Tyler took his last chunk of savings and opened Reed's Retreat, a cute seaside B&B with white wooden walls and twinkling string lights. On opening night, he torched his old reed oil tie to spark the fireplace, laughing loud. From oil wells to wood smoke. Texas-style downgrade, baby. Lila, using Victor Kane's estate money, set up Coastal Pages, a community library where local kids could dive into books and dream big. Ben, now their right-hand man, ribbed Tyler. So my sister really married a millionaire? I'm demanding a raise for table wiping. Tyler smirked. Fine, but don't expect a cut of the coffee profits. One rainy afternoon, Margaret Reed rolled up to Coastal Brew, ditching her silk dresses for an old pickup truck. She looked at Tyler, voice soft. I was wrong, son. Your happiness is enough. Give me a chance. Tyler hesitated, then nodded. Sure, but don't bring Vanessa. I've got no couch for her. Lila jumped in. If Mrs. Reed sticks around, I'm teaching her to brew coffee. The three burst out laughing, old wounds starting to heal. Seaside buzzed with Kane's daughter gossip, but Grace, Lila's bestie, shut it down. Anyone trashes Lila, they're getting scorched coffee. Soon folks saw the good they brought, and the whispers faded like sea foam. One dazzling sunset, Tyler led Lila to the beach, setting up a little table with wildflowers and candles. Lila squinted. What's this? You running off again? Tyler dropped to one knee, pulling out a ring box. Lila, you're the GPS that got me out of Dallas, the worst coffee maker I love most. Marry me? Lila laughed, tears welling. Yes, but don't drop the ring. You're clumsy as hell. They hugged, waves cheering them on. The wedding hit Seaside's beach, simple but wild. Chairs line the sand, and Ben spiked the punch with espresso. Oregon style, deal with it. Leela rocked a plain white dress. Tyler ditched the vest for a linen shirt. Margaret hugged her son. You chose right. Tyler vowed, Lila, you're my real oil. Not flammable, but warm. Lila fired back. Tyler, you're the messy table I can't clean, but I love it. A drone swooped overhead, capturing their kiss as waves crashed. Pure movie magic. 5 years later, they had Ava, 5, hawking mom's bad coffee at a tiny lemonade stand. Under a sunset, Tyler whispered to Lila, oil to coffee, upgrade or downgrade? She grinned. Upgrade, 'cause you've got me. But Ava piped up, I want to sell oil. What's next? Don't miss it. That's the epic reboot of Tyler and Lila. From a Texas oil escape to an Oregon love brew sweeter than a seaside sunset. What did you think? Would you ditch millions for love? Spill your thoughts in the comments. Smash that thumbs up if their beach vows hit you right. Share this with your posse to spread the vibe, and subscribe to Heart and Soul Tales. We're aiming for 1,000 subs to keep the romance rolling. Hungry for more millionaire mishaps? Click that video on the end screen. Tell us, Team Tyler or Team Lila? Catch you next time, love chasers.